Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining to the 27th edition of our Sunday webinar series and the second one in 2026. Now, this time we have a fireside chat with very well-known speaker, Lakshmi Atreya, on the subject which is very close to our heart, that agile in the age of AI and why human judgment is the new competitive advantage. Now, before we directly go into the question, I have got few context setting. Now, Agile has been there for almost last 25 years since the Agile Manifesto was published, and it has also undergone a lot of evolution or transformation, whatever we say. Now, initially, it faced a lot of challenges in the adoption, a lot of resistances. Still, there are a lot of resistances, but that's the only way of working at this point. Now, only thing is how can we do a betterment of it. And we have seen some challenges in terms of the deployment, which DevOps came in and fixed. And then we face the challenges of working with a single team, working with multiple teams, working with single team in a distributed fashion. So distributed agility came and solved the problem. Then we face the challenges with the multiple team, right? Then different scaling model came up. And then again, we faced the challenge with enterprise agility because the agility was kind of restricted within the team level. So again, different scaled agile framework came in and solved that problem. Now the new threat that we are seeing, right, also an opportunity that AI has brought in. So over the last 2 decades, Agile helped us to respond to change by empowering teams, shortening feedback loops, and valuing individuals and interactions. Now today, AI can generate the code. Now the concept of small cross-functional co-located team is kind of taking or facing a little bit of challenge because AI can generate the code, they can write the test cases, they can summarize the backlog, and even suggest product decisions as well. So the question is, no longer with AI will change Agile, it already has changed because there are a lot of things we are seeing. The Scrum Master role is becoming different. The team member's role is different. How is it going to impact our different type of metrics, different type of feedback loop, right? Who will take the accountability of writing the code? Because team members are not only writing the code, sometimes they are taking the help of different GitHub Copilot and many other things. So the deeper question is what becomes uniquely human in an AI-accelerated agile world? Now, these fireside chat would explore why judgment, ethics, context awareness, and leadership, not speed or automation, are emerging as the true competitive advantage. Because automation, speed, these things will be there, but still, how can you respect or how can you rely on the human values like judgment, ethics, etc.? That is something what we are trying to explore. Now, before we start the conversation, it's a great pleasure and honor for me to introduce our guest speaker, Lakshmi Atreya. So she's a technologist and an agile leader with a computer science background from VNIT and IIT Bombay, and over 3 decades of experience across global organization. And she does not really need any introductions. We are just doing a little bit of customary here. She has held leadership roles at companies including Wipro, Apple India, McAfee, and high growth technology startups. Her work spans quality engineering, large scale transformations, and leadership enablement across complex systems. So today she evangelizes human agility, blending agile thinking, AI awareness, and human intelligence to build resilient, future ready organizations. Now, myself, Shubho, full name is Shubho Brotopal. I work for CGI as a director consulting expert, and I've got around 23 years of different type of agile AI transformation experience. And also I'm running this, along with our co-friends, like we are running this Agile AI Agile Synergy community. So again, we would like to welcome Lakshmi to share her insights on some of the questions that we are going to cover, in the next half an hour session. Now, my first question or the first thought would be, Agile promises adaptability that we know, like, so agile is all about adapting to the situation. It's not about restrictive things, it's more about adapting things and how can we evolve over time. But AI introduces unprecedented speed and automation, and things are changing very, very fast. So is agile evolving or being challenged at its core? Because many people are saying that agile can leverage AI and become much stronger. And sometimes people may say also say that agile is under threat, right, with the disruption that is brought by AI. So my first question, which is a very straightforward one to Lakshmi, has really AI strengthened or agile or exposed its weaknesses? Over to you, Lakshmi.
Great. Thanks, Shubho. Firstly, thanks for the opportunity. And really glad to be spending Sunday morning with co-Agilists. And I think AI Agile Synergy is a very, very good initiative. So really glad to be here. And thanks for the opportunity, Shubho.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Um, what has AI done to Agile, right? So before we get into that, right, if you will allow me, it's kind of my favorite perspective. I
Sure,
would
sure.
like to share that and set the stage, right?
Please.
So I love seeing patterns everywhere, right?
Correct.
So I was at a recent conference.
Mm-hmm.
I had presented this thought.
Uh-huh.
If you look at AI and Agile, right? I saw parallels with nature, right? How nature has survived millions of years. And very interestingly, I don't know if that was a very deliberate kind of imitation, but if you look at both Agile and AI, they mimic those patterns, right?
Correct.
So in nature, adaptability is the highest. It ranks the highest.
Right.
Only species which adapt survive.
Correct.
So nature taught adaptability, right? The other thing that you see in nature is, I call it mutualism. There is codependence. There is
Uh-huh.
no single hero. Species have to depend on each other to survive, right? And the other interesting pattern I saw is the whole idea of recursion,
Correct.
which means, you scale up with smaller units, right? So you'll see that in nature, whether it is in leaf patterns or shells everywhere, they expand without breaking, right? So a shell grows with that same golden ratio, it will not keep breaking when it expands.
Agree.
So there is scale,
Mm-hmm.
there's a beautiful scaling, right? And the other thing is that there is no single particular leader. The system seems to manage itself,
Right.
right? So then I was looking at, I there may be more patterns, but I studied these patterns, and I said, hey, if you look at Agile and AI, interestingly, AI is, the advent is much later. Agile is 25 years ago,
Right.
as you said. But you see the same patterns, right?
Correct.
Agile talks of self-organizing teams,
Mm.
and there's Agile at scale.
Mm.
AI is all about self-learning from the data,
Right.
and there are striking similarities.
Mm.
So first, what I would like to do is to share my thought about not viewing AI as a disruption,
Right.
but the entire evolution of process and technology kind of mirroring what nature has proved over millennia.
Agree.
So if we can first set our expectation that this is something that is meant to evolve, and the evolution is never ending, it's just going to continue, and first shift perspective from disruption to evolution,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because often perspective matters.
Absolutely.
So when you view it as a disruption, you get limited because you start thinking of how to cope. But when you look at it as an evolution which is enabling your capability, then you bring your best to the table, right? So first, that is the perspective. And if you look at it from this perspective, I don't look at AI and agile being, antagonistic with each other.
Correct.
If you look at it, so we'll come to the practical aspects later, but the headline is that I think AI is here to step up agile.
Mm.
We talked of customer value, we talked of individuals, we talked of working software,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's software or anything that is like actually working rather than
Correct.
just loads of documentation.
Right.
And we talked of feedback loops, we talked of refinement. This It was path breaking when agile brought it up 25 years ago.
Right.
I think AI just improves that and improves our ability to deliver better. So, did it break agile? No. I think if you look at the core values,
Mm-hmm.
and I love your term AI agile synergy because that's exactly what I just said with the nature's patterns. They are a natural fit.
Correct.
Now, the counterpoint is what happened. What happened is over time, agile became a set of mechanistic rituals.
Mm.
And yes, AI is about to threaten that.
Mm.
So if you look at it as a set of rituals, they're set in stone. You do stand-ups in a certain way. You estimate in a certain way. You just set them. Then agile is a disruptor. But
Correct.
I feel it doesn't threaten core agile. What agile stood for, it enables it.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Now it was a great analogy that you brought in, like when we talked about the nature pattern, how it adapted, how it and how it right existed, and those who could not right became extinct. No, that's a fantastic pattern. Now, as you said, that AI is here to do betterment of agile.
Yeah,
So it will increase further speed by lot of automations, bringing machines, right? Not only for the team member, every role in the agile space can utilize AI in their own way to improve the efficiency. Now, that sometimes brings a question. Now, are we really requiring still human? Where are they going to give us the differentiated value when machines can do all the work? So the question here is, if AI can optimize backlog, why we need a product owner role? If 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 we have right optimization of the coding or the testing, so the question here is, what is left for the human? Is it going to be completely machine driven, or where human can still bring in that differentiation?
great question, Shubha. So I would like to answer with a story. So we were called in. I am part of Effler, right, a
Hmm.
consulting firm.
Right.
So we were called in by a client, very very high profile client, and they had their vendor team.
Hmm.
Again, a very large service organizations. I'm not able to name them. I'm under NDA.
Hmm.
So extremely high profile, actually Big Four, and then a top services organization.
Hmm.
We were called in almost on an in a emergency basis.
Okay.
Actually, what was happening was the customer satisfaction scores were just all time low, and they had no clue what was happening because they were, if you look at it technology wise, they were cutting edge, and supposedly there's agile and AI, right?
Hmm.
Everything is in place,
Correct.
and we were called in. And true enough, if you look at the checklist, they were following everything, right? And everything, if you look at agile processes, everything was in place. And yes, they had gone overboard with AI, right? AI is generating code, AI is generating tests, AI is generating test code, right? So what's going wrong? Velocity is very good, right?
Hmm.
So what is going wrong? And when we studied it, when we went in to look at what's wrong and how do we help them, it was very clear that the team had got disconnected
Hmm.
from the customer. So we
Hmm.
had to kind of reinstate. and say no matter what you do, what your process is, and what your technology is,
Mm.
and this is true, I would say in a larger context,
Right.
that the customer is still a human.
Mm.
The entire enterprise exists to serve a set of humans.
Agree.
That continues to be the goal of any business.
Absolutely. Can't agree more on that.
So that had to be, then we had to run workshops, we had to teach them empathy maps, and we had to bring in the emotional quotient
Mm. Mm.
back into the teams. Actually, the empathy map, then you see how you
Right.
put
Right.
yourself
Mm.
in the customer's shoes,
Correct.
you
Mm.
see their pain points. We made them use their own application and brought the emotion,
Mm. Mm.
right? So we were called in to kind of rewire the emotional aspect of these people. And then we were done, and then we have a system of at Effler, we have a system of, after a few weeks we kind of engage with them in the field, and then after that they come back and present
Mm.
what kind of differentiation happened. So that's our unique methodology. And so then it was remarkable when they came and presented. They said, the managers said they can definitely see the UAT defect leakages have gone down, the satisfaction has
Correct.
improved. And so when the team came in, they said, yeah, we continue to do prompting,
Mm.
but now we can see we pour emotions into those prompts.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so it doesn't matter. Are you writing code or are you writing prompts?
Right.
We have
Right.
just moved a different layer of abstraction. But the end user, the business exists to solve a certain human problem.
Absolutely.
And that
Absolutely.
you cannot lose sight of. And all these, the process and technology, are enablers.
Mm.
And it will continue to help us to give better value faster and at lower cost. But without human in the loop, it's not going to be
Absolutely. So
valuable, because
you brought
the end
a
user
good
is human.
dimension of customer centricity, right, through that kind of right empathy mapping, and tried to actually understand what is the customer problem, right, from a human point of view,
Yes,
right?
yes,
No, that's very
exactly.
good. Yep. Excellent. Now coming to the third question. Now, as already you said, some of the traditional metrics like agile metrics like velocity, capacity, commitment versus accomplishment, all those things are baselined on the human effort.
Yes,
But now the question here is, when AI is doing a lot of our effort, let's say now coding is not entirely done by the team member, right? Maybe AI is doing 40%, 50% of it. Now, prioritization, right? Commitment, estimation, right? Lot of area like where AI is also kind of getting into. So AI is breaking that assumption that metrics are only driven by the human effort. So the point is, again, maybe reiterating or your point, is velocity is going to be still meaningful when AI changes the effort economics, or how, or what are the new metrics those are going to be evolved.
correct. Yeah. So I kind of alluded to this already. I think
Hmm.
that what is changing is probably how we manage
Mm.
and how we measure.
Mm.
But if you look at the fundamentals of why agile was created, I think at a fundamental level we agree that AI is here to enable those
Correct.
agile values,
Right.
right? Having said that, a lot of mechanisms will have to adapt, and like you said, Shubhra, in the intro, agile has gone through a lot of change. So
Absolutely.
this is not a separate, this is just another rev,
Hmm.
right, of change. So we are going to have to change. In fact, what I have observed is even earlier, right, even in teams that had not yet adopted AI, when I was coaching them,
Hmm.
that was kind of like one of the pitfalls when teams were just focused on velocity and nothing else.
Right.
So even there, that was a risk,
Hmm.
because if they were only focused on planning, estimation, velocity, and again lost sight of customer centricity, and not looking at defect metrics or CSAT metrics,
Agree.
that was again skewed anyway. So
Mm.
even earlier it was skewed. But now I think it's everything is faster, so you
Mm.
fail faster.
Mm.
So you have everything is hyper speed, so you fail faster. So now definitely we have to be extremely mindful not to take velocity as a measure. Even
Right.
earlier we had to take a balanced view. I think now it's even more important. Now there's something called 0 point estimation
Right. Mm.
because it's not relevant anymore. So now we need new metrics.
Mm.
And I believe that I think the focus, like I shared the story, we need metrics which are very, very focused on customer centricity.
Correct.
And AI as an enabler is here to help us to offer higher value to the customer than ever before.
Agree.
So customer centricity based metrics, outcome based metrics,
Mm-hmm. Not
those
output,
are what
outcome based. Absolutely. Yeah.
exactly, right?
Mm.
The outcome based metrics and not the delivery metrics.
Mm-hmm.
Because AI has made that almost irrelevant.
Right. Now, we know that. Let's come back to our basics. So we know that there are three aspects, I mean, three key roles in Agile, right? Team member, product owner, Scrum Master. Now, team member, we know that, right? Now, when I say team member, developer, QA, right? So they will be able to write the use cases, they can generate the test cases. The team members can make use of GitHub Copilot to do their coding, sanity testing, etc., all those stuff. Now, when it comes to those critical two other critical roles like product owner and the Scrum Masters, now these days their roles are also evolving. Now, which they used to do manually, lot of data analysis for the predictability, for forecasting, etc. They can make use of some AI algorithm. They can feed in the data and can get the prediction. Okay, what could be the prediction model, or they can come up with a prediction model to understand, okay, what will be the future of this particular sprint if these kind of things are happening. And these can change on day in, day out. I've seen that is happening also. Let's say they're going ahead with 3 weeks of sprint. So after first week, based on the statistics, they can give us a kind of prediction model of the success rate, or whether the sprint will be successful, etc. Now, similarly, from a product owner perspective, though we know that there are a lot of prioritization technique, but sometimes they can use again AI prompting or maybe clustering, etc., right, to do that prioritization on their behalf. And also some of the acceptance criteria generation, etc. Now, as you rightly said already, that maybe some generic things. In fact, I also took some interview with some of our product owner, and they said like in some IP product uh, part of our organization. So I spoke to some of our senior product managers, and they said, the Shubha, we are still not convinced with AI, because whenever it is a generic product, it can create a lot of use cases. But whenever it is a customized product that where we are trying to add value, still our role is relevant, because we can only understand our customer's pain point, and that is the differentiation that we are bringing in, which AI cannot. Because if AI is right offering the same product now, almost similar type of insurance product may be available in multiple product organizations. So what is the value that we are bringing in? So that is setting us apart. That is right making us a differentiator. So again, summarizing quickly in a question format, how do product owners and the Scrum Masters evolve in an AI first setup? Though they cannot avoid using AI, right, for the betterment, as you already said, but still, how do you think they are going to evolve?
Yeah, so it's not a question of whether to use AI or not. I think now that is a given
Correct.
because that is now part of your basic like capability muscle,
Right.
right?
Right.
So someone who's using AI effectively, their cognitive load, I see that as cognitive load, everything that you just described
Mm-hmm.
about how it can optimize the backlog.
Mm.
For a Scrum Master, AI can actually predict, it can help. There's this lot of talk about how AI can give a Scrum Master an emotion kind of summary,
Right.
sentiment,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and preempt impediments. right? So not even solve, but hint to the scrum master, say, hey,
Right.
this is an upcoming impediment.
Correct.
So it's brilliant, right? So
Mm.
I see that as an enabler and a reduction in the cognitive load, because both product owners and scrum masters, they used to be kind of, there was this deluge of data,
Mm. Mm.
and they used to be kind of almost up to their necks in that. And now there's it AI can churn so well. It's at their fingertips. If you look at customer usability trends, or satisfaction surveys, or scrum master, what are the impediments, what's happening retro, did you follow up, what is the follow through,
Correct.
right? And what are the stories that are blocking. So
Mm.
there's beautiful insights that you get. But AI is not a replacement for the human, and it will never be.
Mm.
What
Mm.
will happen is, as the tool advances, the outcome of the same individual increases.
Correct.
Earlier, 80% or 90%, they were just doing data mining and
Mm.
churning. And there's human fatigue
Right.
and errors. So now the same person with effective use of AI will be a better scrum master, better at impediment removal and even preempting. The product owner is better at delivering the roadmap.
Mm.
Both the capabilities will infinitely keep increasing.
Correct.
So the cognitive load that AI reduces, it has to be leveraged, because
Absolutely.
that is how you stay competitive. There
Right.
is somebody else, another product owner, who's using AI beautifully, and they are going to deliver features
Mm.
which are way more in tune with the market than someone who's not.
Right.
But the idea is not to eliminate, because I said, like I said, for a scrum master, end of the day, it is a team of humans. For the product owner, it is a team of humans who are using the product.
Correct.
So the perspective on why businesses exist, I think that is core. Let's not forget that. So if, as long as users are human, the product owner has to be human.
Absolutely. Agree.
But the abilities are significantly improved because of these tools.
Right. No, that's a very, very good perspective. Yeah. So that cognitive load part, right? So that is definitely going to help enable
Yes.
right product owner and Scrum Master to become a better product owner and a better Scrum Master, like that. Now, if I come to the team, now they know that they have everything in hand.
Mm.
What they need to do, just they need to write a right prompt to get the answer. They do not need to even think. Only their thinking is, how can I put my right query into the prompt in the form of a prompt, and I can get the answer. And many people are thinking that will stop people, right, thinking in a different way, or the way they were thinking in a right. Okay, what would be the coding logic? But now they're getting an instant answers there. So from your vast experience, so what is your take in there? Can AI make the agile team more complacent and less uh, what should I say? They stop thinking, or how is it going to be in future?
Yes, yes, there is a risk of agile teams becoming, or delivery teams, let's
Hmm.
call them delivery teams,
Correct.
becoming complacent. But that is it's kind of what I said earlier about, now there's a new benchmark for outcomes,
Hmm.
because you have more sophisticated tools. You have to push the limit of what you deliver.
Right.
Now, if you don't increase, right, you don't expand your capabilities, your outcomes, then it's going to kind of be degenerative. Because for the same outcome level, you have this, great horsepower now. So obviously, everyone will become complacent. That is going to happen.
Right.
But if you look at the why,
Hmm.
right, the why of why do these tools exist,
Mm.
then there is, everybody shifts in capability. Everyone is plus plus. So I call it agile plus plus, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So agile is plus plus, the human also is plus plus.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is adding higher value to the business.
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, then it's expansive. But if you think that you will deliver at the same level as earlier, but suddenly now you don't have to do coding, you don't have to test, then it will make people complacent. And but systems autocorrect,
Correct. Yeah.
right? Soon the system will realize, and if people are just take steps to kind of rewire everything. But yes, the why is important. And that is the role of technology. It's going to continue to push limits. And if you look at it, the idea is to deliver better outcomes, to solve problems that we never attempted earlier.
Right.
So humans have this collective need to solve problems. That is why technology exists. And we'll keep pushing that limit. So, yes, if we want to remain at earlier limits, definitely there's complacence. But if all of us are aware of the why,
Mm.
and we don't view it as a disruption, view it as evolution and expansion, and each of us performs at a way higher level than earlier.
Correct.
Yeah, it can go either way.
Right. Great. Great point. Now, let's come back to our some of our basic agile, some core values like transparency and the trust. Now, agile, these are some of our agile core values, but most of the time, AI often operates right as a black box. So we do not know like what is the rationale behind the behind this decision which is being made, because that is not made clear, right? That algorithm which is running behind the scene is not clear to us. We just get the answer, get the response, and we have to blindly trust on that. But when people dig deeper, when something goes wrong, people dig deeper, they say there is something wrong in the algorithm. That happens. So my question is, when ethical part is becoming very important, so how do we ensure the ethical agility when AI is involved?
Yes, that is a very relevant point, Shubho, because after all, it's a tool, it's an algorithm.
Mm,
So there will be all kinds of biases, right? So there's something called confirmation bias.
correct.
It'll just keep agreeing with, it gets a sense of what you want and
Mm,
it'll keep agreeing with you, the outcome. So the human, again, the human in the loop, and no matter what you're automating, I think the accountability has to be the judgment, the decision making, the accountability is a human role.
mm,
That cannot be delegated. Like I said, we have to be extremely clear that it's a tool meant to step you up, to reduce the grunt work, to reduce cognitive load. But when you look at accountability, ownership, ethical considerations, decision making, that has to be, you have to have an owner,
right.
identifiable owner in every team
Agree.
where data is just, it's used effectively.
Correct. So final decision making is still lies with a human, right? So
Yes.
they can give us the option. Like sometimes we have seen that also when we uh, try to write a prompt, AI may give you multiple options, right? Okay, this
Yes.
is response one, response two, response two. So it is up to us to decide which
Yes.
one is better fitting me, of course.
Correct.
Now, since with AI, a lot of things are getting automated, things are becoming much faster. AI is able to connect the dots faster. Now, if you remember, like when the Agile Manifesto was published initially, it was more of a small cross-functional co-located team. Now, what was the
Mhm.
rationale behind the co-location? So that we can collaborate better. Because that point in time, these Microsoft Teams, Zoom, etc., were not there. So that the members can connect with each other, individuals and interaction over processes and tools, right? We could collaborate better, right? That was the philosophy. But now, with AI connecting the dot faster, are we seeing that there is a threat the team will start losing that better collaboration? They would try to act as a silo, or I mean, so the point is, does AI reduce the need of cross-functional collaboration? Though we know that the distributed agility was there, but still people were collaborating, right? Even if in the distributed concept, people were collaborating. But is this now becoming a new rule, that does AI reduce the need of cross-functional collaboration when the dots are connected very fast? What is your opinion?
Yes, I think the kind of trip down memory lane, Shubho, that you took was very interesting. Early Agile, it was you sit in a room and you have post-it notes and you physically
Exactly.
move the notes on the wall, and people are and that is how even stand-ups, right? They literally were
Correct.
standing in the room and
Many organizations used to create that agile spaces, right? They used
yes,
to invest on that, right? Yeah.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So things have changed a lot, and there's multiple reasons why co-located teams are nearly impossible now.
Correct.
Whether it's because geographically
Mm.
there are distant, and then there is pandemic, and there's just so many. It's not just technology, right? Nature has its other
Right. Mm.
disruptions. So I think to that extent we notice that agile has had to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Scrum has had to evolve, or if it's Kanban, it had to evolve. But again, I see certain things are changing. But if you go back to the fundamentals of why do we need a cross-functional team,
Right.
the why, right? So the why hasn't changed. In my view, even now, the why hasn't changed. You may not need collaborate. You may not you no longer have post-its because now you have
Correct.
collaboration tools.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, but but essentially, we still need transparent tracking. So that why hasn't gone away. Likewise, if you look at even cross-functional teams, even now we do need developers, we need designers, we need testers,
Correct.
we need, and there is a product owner who's the representative.
Mm.
We continue to need the MVP to be, say, reviewed by the PO.
Right.
So that why hasn't gone away. So I don't think cross-functional teams should be disbanded.
Mm.
But yeah, I still continue to think the way retros are run,
Mm.
the way stand-ups happen,
Mm.
there are teams who believe that now stand-ups are not necessary, because what happens is the workspace chat transcripts of the previous day are summarized
Mm-hmm.
and the tickets are summarized. And so the entire notion of stand-up is now under question
Correct.
in an agile team. So, yes, certain rituals, certain ceremonies, there will be the agile plus plus, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the strengths of agile has been cross-functional teams coming together to solve a certain business goal.
Agree.
We still need that multidisciplinary team to think together. The why hasn't changed, the how might change.
Correct. Correct. Excellent. Now, I like that agile plus plus. Like in our organization, we are calling it as an agility 3.0. I mean, same thing,
Okay,
but in a different way.
correct.
Uh, Now, let's uh, go to a different context. Now, every transformation brings some new disruption, I mean, dysfunctions, and which
Yes,
may lead to some of the anti patterns as well.
yes.
And we have seen that whenever we are going for any transformation, there will be always some barriers, there will be some resistance, there will be some dysfunctions, and which may lead to a lot of anti patterns. So whenever now, again, if I quote unquote AI, agile, they are working in synergy, what new agile anti patterns may emerge because of AI?
Um, I don't know if there would be any new anti-patterns,
Hmm.
but I think the earlier anti-patterns, if AI is not viewed with the right perspective, not leveraged the right way,
Hmm.
then I think it can just make it much worse,
Mm.
right? So like the obsessive focus on velocity,
Correct.
if we don't rebalance that, then
Mm.
AI will just make it completely lopsided, because now velocity is very high, and then there is the mistaken impression that there's high productivity.
Mm.
So that was definitely an anti-pattern of agile even earlier,
mm,
right? And you just talked of complacence.
mm,
So now, if you don't bring in the higher focus on customer centricity, then whatever is mechanistic, it's now just too easy, right? So you just do it mechanically. That they say agile in name only, right? There is that
correct.
much kind of hated acronym. That is some people who are against agile use that, right? So then now it's now there are so many tools, so that anti pattern will just completely that will lead to complacence.
Mm, mm,
So there's no, I don't see new anti patterns, but I think whatever was earlier, right? There was also there is this we do coach teams. If you look at it, they do stand ups and everything, and they say we are agile. But if
mm,
you look at it behind the scenes, it's actually waterfall.
correct.
So there is this joke saying you're scrum fall, you're not scrum.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that is another anti pattern. So that everything because of the speed,
Mm,
AI will just kind of exacerbate everything, the existing anti patterns, which I don't think are new. They were
mm,
already there even without the advent of AI. These were there, but now AI will, and that's a good thing, I believe,
mm, mm,
because it will, what was taking a little longer to show up
mm,
as an anti pattern, now AI will speed up, so you fail faster.
correct.
I see that as a good thing because
Mm,
you fail faster and then you have to kind of rewire the way you're doing agile.
very good. Excellently put. Now, the last question for this fireside. After that, we'll open it up for Q&A. Now, people who are having around, let's say, 20 plus experience, right, to around 30, we are very unique in witnessing both waterfall side as well as the agile side. And we have seen a lot of transformation here because waterfall lasted for quite a longer period of time because the market was not that disruptive, and after that agile came in. After that the market is changing very very fast, and we are seeing a lot of new things coming up like design thinking, DevOps, scaling, organizational agility. Again, pandemic changed the way of working. Again, AI is coming up. So we had to go for a lot of unlearning, right? Learning, relearning, etc., etc. But the people, the Gen Zs, like who started their career, maybe let's say 5 to 10 years of experience, they started their career with agile mindset. So my question is, I'm not talking about whether they're doing it in the right way or not, right? How their attitudes are, right? I'm not going there. But question is, if we think about our future generations, now those who are going to join, so how should organization, right? Because workforce readiness is a very key thing, right? And we are not only talking about the technical readiness, but we are also talking about way of working readiness, right? So how should organization prepare agile talent for this future, which is highly disruptive and very less deterministic?
Yes, yes. So if you look at it, on the surface, it's quite mind boggling,
Hmm.
right? And it completely looks very disruptive and chaotic.
Hmm.
And yes, we have seen we are unique. I think we are uniquely set. I when I started my career, there was no agile, right?
Correct.
It was all waterfall. So and now when I have to we coach people about
Mm.
agile, it's very interesting with the young teams. You have to actually tell them what waterfall is,
Mm.
tell them why that are limits, and they say why. I mean, it was always agile since we were
Correct.
born.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Mm.
And yes, now agile is here to stay. There's AI, I call it agile plus plus.
Hmm.
uh, and plus with the Gen Z or Gen Alpha, their mindsets,
Mm.
they don't comply for the sake of complying. Earlier us senior generations, people would get by with saying this is what we need to achieve. I am your manager, do it.
Mm.
But that's no longer the case now. right? So we had another client who said they had a strange problem where the teams were just not sending in timesheets.
Right.
The youngsters, the
Mm.
new joinees, because they said, "Why?
Correct.
I'm doing my work. Look at my deliverable. I don't need to send timesheets." So
Mm-hmm.
so the employers are having to grapple with this now.
Mm.
And I think, again, like I always think in patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
for every question, you'll find me coming up with a pattern as an
Right.
answer. So
Mm.
if you look at what AI did, Agile did, sorry, Agile was path breaking then,
Mm.
and it suddenly said, look at customer value and
Right.
look at individuals,
Mm.
the autonomy of individuals, self-organizing teams. So
Mm.
that was path breaking then. But if you look fast forward and you look at what the combination of Agile and AI is bringing to the
Mm.
table, and coupled with all these younger generations which are joining the workforce, if you look at it, and surface level, it looks chaotic, it looks disruptive. But if you look at it, the creativity levels are going to be higher, the problem solving capabilities are going to be higher.
Correct.
The newer generation, their creative energy, if you can leverage. So this team, we had to coach this manager, going back to the timesheet problem. We said you cannot do, your senior team members will send in just because it's supposed
Mm.
to be sent.
Mm.
But with them, you sit down and explain what it means to the business.
Right.
Don't mandate it, just say it is important for the business, explain the why, explain the purpose, and then we had that gap
Should
closed
be
and then
driven
they
by a
started.
purpose and not by the what. Okay. Yeah.
So that is going to happen. The purpose will, I call it the purpose congruence. The
Mm.
purpose congruence will be the spine of the
Mm.
organization.
Right.
And the younger generations, when they see their why and they see the purpose alignment, they come in with a lot of creative energy. They're very high on self expression. And if we can leverage that, I think that is great fuel for the organizations. And the organizations that are able to do that will thrive. But those who are set in their ways, they don't adapt,
Mm.
not just to AI as a technology, but the younger workforce. If they don't adapt, then time will tell. They will have to kind of step back. Only organizations that adapt to the workforce and technology, I think, will not just survive, they'll thrive.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lakshmi, like for these insights. I'll just open it for the audience, right? If anyone has any question, feel free to ask. Yes, go ahead. I see your name is Zoom user. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm Shubhra because I couldn't join with
Okay,
my
hi Shubhra. I was
regular.
wondering where you
Yeah,
were.
I couldn't join with my regular Gmail ID, so I joined
Yeah, I
using
was
my Apple
wondering
ID.
where Shubhra is. I was missing her.
Yeah, it was a great discussion, Lakshmi, and we all know about your agile pattern. I mean, correlating it with nature from the
Yeah, you
RSG
were
time.
there at RSG,
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah. So this is a kind of an extension to the last question that Shubho asked. So we do see a difference in behavior from our generation to the Gen Zs or Gen Alphas that are getting in now. So there's one thing that organizations need to take care of,
Yeah.
training them on the behavioral pattern. But do you think that uh, slowly this focus in academics is getting more towards IQ or towards technology than EQ? I mean, if a person or if a child is being educated with all only technology, and slowly they're becoming like robots without any
Yes.
human empathy, right?
Yes.
So, what do you think that? I mean, do you think it is important that it gets included in the academic courses? And if so, what is that one subject that you want to get included in the academics? Because we see, I mean, we can teach them when they are joining organizations, but then these are all behavioral patterns, right? These should be imbibed from very lower age.
Yes.
So, what is that one subject that you feel that should get included in the academics?
Yeah, that's a great question, great observation, Shubhra. And we do notice that there is extreme emphasis on academic achievements, and we notice that when they come into the workforce, like you mentioned, we notice that there is new learning that they have to do, because there is a need. Like I said earlier, we are serving a set of humans, and we are collaborating with a set of humans. No matter what changes happen in the industry, this is not going away, right?
Right, right.
And this is something that no course teaches. That's a brilliant observation. And I think
Yes.
we do need uh, even professional courses to have something which teaches them about collaboration, the importance of collaboration, the socializing, the empathy.
Right.
That has to be a different, and that has to be also an experiential learning. And absolutely, that is missing. And
Exactly,
the
because
fact,
even as parents, I
yes,
mean, I think we are now, first of all, we don't have that much time. We are all busy with our work.
yes, yes,
If we remember our childhood, we have had our parents,
yes,
giving this lesson at home as well.
yes,
But
yes,
then this generation is missing that as well because of
yes,
time or whatever it is. But I
correct,
feel that it is very important, to get them learn these skills from
yes.
a very, very childhood age.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really hope parents learn, and this is awareness, because the child will eventually have to in the workforce. They will have to learn this.
Yeah, because
This is
we
a
see that
great
they are
point.
losing that human touch altogether. Even if you see the kids today, they don't have that emotion in them
Yes,
totally that we used to have in our childhood.
exactly. Because there used to be extended families, or there used to be even friends that
Yes,
interact and play together, and that brought in the emotional balance.
yes, and
And
that
yes,
shows in the organizational space as well, right?
yes, 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 yes. Yeah, so that is a very important need. Not sure how many organizations or institutions will recognize that, but
So, what is that
that's
one subject that you feel that should immediately be added in the
yes, yes. So,
academics?
like I said, right, something that focuses on team building, what we teach in organizations later,
Mm-hmm.
that should become part of the curriculum. That's a
Okay,
brilliant observation about team building, collaboration, empathy, emotional intelligence, some amount of psychology to be
right,
taught. So that
right,
has to be a very, very important subject, and they learn the importance of collaborating.
right.
Great, great point, Shubhra. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Lakshmi.
Thank you, Shubhra. I have changed your name, by the way, from Zoom user to Shubhra. Okay, coming to Moinak. Moinak, your question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Shubhavata and Lakshmi. Wonderful session going on. I have a two-part question. One is kind of a behavioral, another is kind of a practical impact of AI. Uh, Shubhavata touched upon the complacency and the judgmental part of it. So what we see in junior members specifically is that they are losing that judgment or that intuition.
Hmm.
You should have your logical mind to solving problems, but at the beginning, too much dependency on AI tools is leading them to lose that cognitive touch. Because from the leadership, there is too much thrust on penetration of GitHub Copilot licenses, how much the usage is. They want to get that out of them, so they are pushing that use this. So that is one aspect. How do we deal with that? Uh, get them into that intuitive ways of working. And another is from the real practical problem. What we are facing is that cycle time was a very meaningful metrics to identify bottlenecks over the period. Okay, so what has happened, and I'm seeing by usage of this AI tools like GitHub Copilot and other things, especially for the junior members, the testing part has become very erratic in a sense, like some cases are they're able to do the testing very fine, and some people they're not able to identify the error because they have used too much of AI dependent coding and all. So the errors are like very unique, which is not like a normal. It is like something unknown. Okay, so what has happened for some user stories, the uh, unnaturally the cycle time is increasing because they are not able to complete the stories, and for some it is like doing very fast. So there's a great mismatch between the overall cycle time across kind of similar pattern of stories, because more time is getting in identifying the error caused by the AI tool.
Hmm.
Okay, so that is stretching the overall time and spillovers are happening. So there's a disruption what I'm observing in especially with the junior members. So is there any? I know there is no quick fixes, but I think this is a transitional phase, and things will get sorted better. But just wanted to get an observation from you.
Yeah, thanks. Great questions, Mainak. First one is yes, I think Shubhra also mentioned the complacence. So, unless there are new levels of outcome and deliverable expected, if it's the same level of deliverable that the tools are turbocharged, I think then the human, there will be degeneration because you don't need it just makes you lazy, right? So I believe that teams have to know that they can expand their limits and deliver more overall. How this translates to the individual, now it's up to say the product owner or the management of the team. But as a perspective, AI adoption cannot be just a forced um, initiative. It has to be first is raise the outcome and then use AI as a tool. That would be my recommendation. You can't make use of AI the goal. That's where people are going wrong, right? So that is definitely we see when we coach teams, we notice that discrepancy where there is push. Everyone use Copilot. Let's see how much you're using it, but not looking at the outcome. If you lose sight of that, then there's this degeneration. That is part one. Part two is yes, we notice that as well with teams, where now everything is extremely fast, but troubleshooting can be equally difficult because now the code is auto generated, and then even the tests, there's just enormous number of tests that are created. And that is what happened with the team that we were coaching, where they had auto generated code, they had auto generated tests, but they were kind of lost in that, right? So velocity on the surface looks good, but again what we had to do is now there will have to be, and it is a transition phase. It on the surface looks easy, but prompt ops is a thing now, right? Because prompts can have errors. So how well you prompt, now the skill shifts to that. How well you are able to debug auto generated code, that is yet another skill, right? So there will it's a process of adaptation where people will have to learn these new skills. On the surface it looks like it's easier, but that is just the first cut which is faster. Like you said, Mayank, the bottleneck now has shifted somewhere else, right? And the source of errors has shifted somewhere else. But yeah, and
It's
it's
a
a learning
twin-edged sword.
process. Sorry.
It's a twin-edged sword. Like you're getting like benefit as well as there are cuts also.
Yes, yes. But like I said, if you view it as an enabler, not a disruptor, and not make use of AI the goal, that is kind of mindless use of AI, then you won't be prepared for it. If you can use it as an enabler to make sure that everybody performs at a higher level, and it will require new skills. Now the troubleshooting, now code generation is no longer estimating story points. That's kind of not relevant now. But then long term maintenance, now that is a challenge because you have code generated, auto generated, and I have seen developers who have challenges in troubleshooting because it is auto generated code.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lakshmi, for your
Thanks.
insights.
Thanks, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Okay. Just with Lakshmi's permission, I would like to share just two anecdotes here. So on your first question, Moinak, like in our organization, so there was, I don't want to just disclose that number of license. So last year, I think in 2025, there were, right, so and so number, some 100 number of GitHub Copilot license were procured. And those were to be distributed across the team members. Yeah, I'll come to you, Shudokina. So distributed. So, and we could see, because being at a director level, we could see a lot of reports coming up. So initially, the report was not how effectively team was using the GitHub Copilot license, but whether how many Copilot license are actually active and being right allocated to the team member. That was the first report. Now, second report came in that okay, how many are active user, how many are passive user, even though the right the it is allocated. And then people started tracking that okay, what is the benefit they are getting. So these were the kind of report getting generated. So after that, I spoke to some of the delivery managers. So are you really seeing any benefit of using this, or you are just using it because you have to meet some checkpoint, right? Some checklist, as she rightly mentioned. She said, Shubho, these are all vague numbers. As of now, we may see some benefit, but as of now, no one can justify whenever they are saying that 40% decrease in my development time, no one can justify with evidence. These are all right high level numbers. So as she rightly mentioned that we should not be driven by how many licenses we have procured and how many are distributed and how many people are using it, but use it based on the need and show really some value. And when I say value, those should not be soft value, those should be hard benefit, right? That people should be showcasing. The second point, as you said, I think Lakshmi answered it brilliantly. Again, I have an anecdote here. Now, sometimes people are writing the prompt, they are just taking the excerpts of the logical thing they are trying to generate with AI, and they are trying to get the response. But we are missing a very interesting part of it called system thinking. How this part of the code is going to be used by right other part of the code, that AI may not know. So whenever you are getting the code, it may be working fantastically whenever it is played or it is right used all alone as a standalone program. But whenever it is fitting into that right original code, which is being used by many upstream, downstream application, there it is failing. And since the team member has not done any holistic analysis of the code, earlier how you used to do, okay, this method is being called by so many classes. And accordingly, I need to fit in my logic so that there should not be any regression impact to it. So now the code snippet that AI is generating may be working perfectly as a standalone program, but whenever it is integrated with others' code or maybe with some upstream, downstream, it is failing. And since the team members did not do any analysis, they're failing. Thank you. Shudokina, you have a question. Go ahead.
No, I have a very basic question here, like what Lakshmi told, and we understood that complacence and degeneration are the two threats pointed out here, other than anything disruptive, which is always enabling our human skill. So it's our responsibility to evolve to the next level of thinking, to the higher level of thinking, to be on the higher mental platform all the time. So how organizations can step up to that level? Constant harping to that next level of thought process. Please don't go down. Let us go up along with AI so that we also evolve in our human skill.
Great question. Great question, Sujakshina. There's no easy answer. It's one thing to say. That's why I said it is a pattern that I am talking of and a perspective, right? So if the leadership in the organization drives from this perspective, top down, it has to be driven top down, where the leadership understands that this is here to increase capability. Like I said, not make use of AI, how many licenses, like Shubho said, not make that the goal. That's a slippery slope. But now have audacious goals business wise, right? And this is not an easy translation, I agree. It's not an easy map to see how AI is now helping you deliver at a higher level. That's not an easy map. All I offered was the perspective, but if you look at it case by case basis, there is no straight formula. It's not easy, but I still believe leadership should have that perspective and drive adoption with that mindset.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Yeah.
Okay. Any other question?
Not a question, but I think I agree to what Lakshmi said on this topic. Like, it is one of the anti-patterns that organizations are, what should use the term? They are believing in right now, that they are only trying to track how much of AI is being used in the
Yes.
organization,
Right.
instead of actually tracking the value
Yes.
and actually knowing the purpose. So it is like we have to use AI, as you said, Shubho, that we have bought so many license, and so we are tracking how many people are using it, how much of effort is being reduced. But then when you actually talk to the real developers and
Right.
ask them that what do you see that how much is reduced, they will really say you cannot say like that how much percentage is reduced.
Absolutely.
So instead of rewarding people who use AI too much, I think we should find the balance to reward people who are using critical thinking as well.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
if that is not a mindset in the leadership, then it is going to fail very soon, because only AI without any critical thinking or system thinking is never going to work, never going to solve your problem.
Correct. Correct.
Very good observation. Yes, Shubha. Like I said, you have to understand it is here to expand your limits.
Right.
Start from there.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So with this, I would like to again thank Lakshmi for gracing our occasion, right? Gracing our fireside chat with her, right? Insightful observations, examples, patterns, right, etc. So a quick summary. So AI will continue to get faster, cheaper, and smarter. But what won't scale automatically is the judgment, accountability, and the wisdom. So AI agile in the age of AI is not about just running faster, it's about choosing better and how can we leverage, right, to get better in our different roles, right, in the different outcomes, not the outputs. So with this, thank you so much again, Lakshmi, and thanks those who were here, right, to get some insight. I'm sure it was useful, and we'll again meet sometime whenever we have some relevant topics. Thank you again. Take care. Have a good day.
Subrata,
Thanks a
thank
lot.
you.
Thank
Just
you.
let me
Thank you,
give me
everyone.
one
Thank
chance,
you.
because it is very difficult to bring in Lakshmi within a 1 hour discussion. That is what my personal feeling experience. So, thank you
Thanks.
very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Thanks.
both of
Look
you.
forward.
Take
We'll
care.
keep meeting,
Absolutely.
Subrata.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
sure.
Thank